Imagine a remote, icy Canadian park. Here, entombed within thick layers of glacial ice, a startling discovery was made. A bizarre skeleton, quickly dubbed the Frozen Dragon. This ancient relic had been locked in its icy prison for eons. It took paleontologists decades of painstaking research to classify this strange fossil. The result? A brand new genus of pterosaur, those colossal flying reptiles that once ruled the skies. These weren't your average birds. Pterosaurs, including this new genus, boasted wingspans exceeding 16 feet, making them true giants of the prehistoric world. And their heads? A staggering 3.5 times the size of their bodies. Picture these winged behemoths soaring above the dinosaurs 76 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. Scientists have described them as some of the largest, most formidable, and strangest creatures ever to take flight. This particular genus has been scientifically named Cryodracon boreas, which chillingly translates to frozen dragon of the north winds. Now, fast forward to 2013. High atop Mont Blanc, one of Western Europe's loftiest peaks, a young mountaineer was making his ascent. He noticed something glinting in the snow, a metallic box partially exposed. Curiosity piqued, he carefully pried it open. Inside, a dazzling hoard, precious rubies, emeralds, and sapphires sparkling like captured starlight. The climber, with commendable integrity, immediately turned the box over to the authorities. Investigations revealed a likely connection to one of two Air India flights that had tragically crashed on the mountain over half a century prior. The estimated value of this icy treasure? Over $200,000. The search to find the rightful heirs to this incredible find continues. Let's journey to northwest Siberia, 2007. A reindeer herder, venturing out with his sons, stumbled upon an anomaly in the frozen landscape. It was a mammoth calf, perfectly preserved in the ice. He immediately contacted the local museum. This calf, named Lyuba, became renowned as the best-preserved mammoth mummy ever discovered. Lyuba had been frozen for an astounding 41,800 years. At the time of her death, she was only about 30 to 35 days old. From the tip of her trunk to the end of her tail, she was about the size of a large dog, a poignant reminder of the magnificent creatures that once roamed the earth. If you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of Lyuba herself as she travels to museums around the globe. Our next stop, the frozen continent of Antarctica. Amidst the endless expanse of ice and snow rises Mount Erebus, an active volcano. It was first discovered in 1841 during an Antarctic expedition, erupting dramatically as the explorers approached. Towering over 12,000 feet, this geological giant has been continuously active for approximately 1.3 million years. Deep within its heart lies a massive crater filled with a seething lake of molten lava. Mount Erebus experiences frequent, albeit relatively small, explosions, classifying it as a volcano in a constant state of eruption. Back to 1991, in the Italian Alps. Two hikers were traversing the rugged terrain when they came across human remains. Initially, they assumed the body belonged to a recently lost hiker. They made the arduous trek back down the mountain to report their grim discovery. However, once the remains were recovered, it became clear that this was no ordinary case. Scientists determined that the Iceman, as he became known, was over 5,000 years old. He was named Ötzi. This discovery was unprecedented. The body's remarkable preservation offered an unparalleled glimpse into the distant past. For years, scientists studied Ötzi, learning that our ancestors had more in common with modern humans than previously imagined. Ötzi was covered in intricate tattoos. Analysis of his stomach contents revealed that his last meal consisted of dried, cured meat, similar to modern-day bacon. Astonishingly, Ötzi has at least 19 living relatives somewhere in Central Europe. Finally, imagine scientists researching ancient squirrel burrows in the frozen expanse of Siberia. They unearthed a remarkable find, a squirrel's hidden cache of seeds buried deep underground. These seeds had been frozen in time for a staggering 32,000 years. They belonged to the Silene stenophila, a flowering plant that had long since vanished from the earth. In an astonishing feat of scientific ingenuity, researchers managed to extract viable plant tissue from within the ancient seeds and cultivate an entirely new crop of these extinct flowers. They have since reintroduced the Silene stenophila to its native habitats, bringing a long-lost species back to life. In 1930, a group of Norwegian scientists embarked on a research expedition sailing the icy waters of the Arctic Ocean to study the seas and glaciers. They reached White Island, a remote and treacherous land of ice and snow, where no human was believed to have ever set foot. But they were wrong. The scientists were stunned to discover the tip of a small boat protruding from the snow. Frozen solid inside, they found scientific instruments and personal belongings, including a jacket bearing the monogram S.A. Andre. They had stumbled upon the wreckage of... Imagine the year is 1897. A team of intrepid Swedish explorers, led by the ambitious Andre, embark on a daring mission to reach the North Pole via hydrogen balloon. This was the Andre Arctic Balloon Expedition, a venture into the unknown. But their dreams were soon shattered, and the world lost contact with them. For 33 long years, their fate remained a mystery. Then, in a stunning discovery, the wreckage of their expedition was finally located. The balloon had crashed on the desolate White Island a mere 2 days after its launch from Sweden. The explorers, undeterred, attempted to continue their journey, navigating the icy terrain in a small makeshift boat. But the unforgiving Arctic proved too relentless, and they never made it any further. Their final moments, frozen in time, a testament to the brutal power of nature. Now, let's fast forward to 2010, to the frigid expanse of Siberia. Here, in the grip of the permafrost, the most remarkably preserved woolly mammoth ever unearthed came to light. Scientists christened this incredible specimen Yucca, named after the nearby village that bore witness to the discovery. Yucca had been entombed in ice for an astonishing 39,000 years, estimated to have been a juvenile, only 6 to 8 years old, when it perished. The exceptional preservation of Yucca has allowed for extensive study, yielding invaluable insights into the lives of these colossal creatures. In 2019, a groundbreaking report revealed that scientists had even managed to reactivate cells extracted from Yucca's tissue. Could this be a glimpse into the future, where woolly mammoths once again roam the Earth? Consider Antarctica, a land seemingly locked in an eternal winter. When we look at photos and videos of the continent, it appears as a flat, snow-covered expanse, punctuated by a few small rocky hills. But what if there was more than meets the eye? In the early 2000s, scientists studying the Gamburtsev Mountains were met with a startling revelation. Those seemingly insignificant rocky hills were, in fact, the peaks of a colossal mountain range hidden beneath a mile of ice. Using advanced radar technology, researchers mapped out this hidden world, revealing mountains reaching heights of around 10,000 feet, stretching across a staggering 750 miles. A hidden alpine range, rivaling the European Alps in size, concealed beneath a crushing blanket of ice and snow. Deep within a Siberian gold mine, a businessman's keen eye spotted something extraordinary in the frozen earth alongside a nearby river. It was a tiny woolly rhino calf, later named Sasha. These woolly rhinoceroses have been extinct for 15,000 years. The little Sasha, frozen for what is thought to be at least 39,000 years, offered a remarkable glimpse into the past. Sasha stands alone as the only complete woolly rhino specimen ever discovered, an unprecedented window into a lost world. Now, travel to the northern Italian town of Povo, where the glaciers are in retreat. As the ice melts, it unveils artifacts from decades and even centuries past. Relics of soldiers emerge from their icy tombs, personal diaries filled with untold stories, faded photographs capturing cherished memories, and heartfelt love letters. Historians have even discovered an entire cabin, perfectly preserved beneath the ice, filled with metal helmets and clothes. In 1845, Sir John Franklin led an expedition to find the Northwest Passage. The crew sailed in 2 ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror. But the expedition met with disaster, and both ships were lost to the icy waters. In 2016, the HMS Terror was discovered by a team of researchers. 170 years after its disappearance, the frigid waters had preserved the ship. Scientists described the ship as frozen in time. Dinner plates and glasses were still on shelves, beds and desks were still in order, and even the passengers' luggage appeared to be in good condition. The HMS Erebus was also discovered nearby, but the ship wasn't in great shape. In Norway, a mountain passageway used by Vikings has revealed hundreds of ancient artifacts. Among these treasures was a large sealed wooden box. Researchers were excited to open this box, believing it would be filled with Viking treasures. But when they opened the box, all that was inside was a plain beeswax candle. This box wasn't as old as they thought it was. They discovered that the box dates back to the 17th century. The age of the Vikings had ended by the 11th century. It's likely that the candle box belonged to a farmer who was shipping it from his summer farm to his winter farm to light up the long nights. Imagine standing in Siberia. The freezing gusts of wind are burning your face, and all that white snow seems to be blinding you. This place resembles Antarctica because of the permafrost. A group of scientists researched one of the local rivers with the help of a drilling rig. They extracted several samples of frozen soil. Imagine, if you will, a scene of utter astonishment in a research laboratory. Scientists, peering through microscopes, are utterly baffled. What could inspire such wonder? It's the discovery of living organisms, perfectly preserved, within ancient ice. These aren't just any microbes. They're complex, multi-celled beings known as deloid rotifers, tiny worm-like creatures, seemingly frozen in time. These resilient organisms were already known for their ability to endure frozen conditions for up to a decade. But this discovery shattered all expectations. The rotifers extracted from the ice were approximately 24,000 years old. Upon thawing, they sprang back to life, reproducing as if their long sleep had been a mere afternoon nap. Incredible. Further investigation revealed an even more astounding truth. These rotifers possessed the capability to remain frozen for hundreds of thousands of years. Picture this. These creatures might have been alive during an era when humanity hadn't even conceived of the wheel. And their resilience doesn't end there. Deloid rotifers boast an extraordinary resistance to radiation, surviving in environments lethal to most other life forms. They thrive in oxygen-deprived zones, endure high acidity, and can withstand prolonged periods without food or water. Nature's true survivors. But these microscopic marvels aren't alone in their longevity. Certain moss species and microorganisms also exhibit near-immortal qualities. Then, there are the nematodes, or roundworms, among the most adaptable worm species on Earth. Envision the Eiffel Tower, standing tall and magnificent. Now, amplify its height tenfold and bury it deep beneath the Earth. At such depths, thousands of feet below the surface, scientists have unearthed thriving nematode populations. This subterranean realm is a world devoid of sunlight, with minimal air. Being closer to the Earth's core, the temperature soars far beyond that of the hottest desert. Millions of tons of overlying soil exert unimaginable pressure. Yet life persists, defying all odds. When faced with adverse conditions, lack of air or food, extreme temperatures, roundworms enter a state of stasis, a profound hibernation. Their metabolism plummets, and bodily functions grind to a near halt. They slumber for extended periods, awakening only when conditions improve. And you don't have to delve miles underground to encounter these hardy creatures. Nematodes are ubiquitous, inhabiting hot springs, deserts, mountaintops, the icy expanses of Antarctica, and even the bodies of animals and humans. Our attention now turns to another group of invulnerable organisms, tardigrades, also affectionately known as water bears. These microscopic eight-legged invertebrates, closely related to arthropods, are invisible to the naked eye. Under a conventional microscope, however, their unique form is revealed. They resemble miniature bears, hence their endearing nickname. The water bear moniker stems from their need for a thin film of moisture to prevent dehydration. Tardigrades have colonized virtually every environment on Earth, from the deepest ocean trenches to the highest sand dunes. Their resilience is attributed to their unique physical structure. Though seemingly delicate, their bodies are encased in a tough cuticle, akin to the exoskeletons of grasshoppers, mantises, and countless other insects. To grow, Water bears shed their old cuticle. Each of their 8 legs terminates in 4 to 6 claws, providing exceptional grip on any surface. These creatures can withstand temperatures nearly 3 times colder than those found in Antarctica. Heat poses no threat either. They can survive temperatures that bring water to a boil. Furthermore, water bears are impervious to radiation and the crushing pressures of the deep ocean. Pressures that would obliterate alloys of the strongest metals are shrugged off by these tiny titans, withstanding forces 6 times greater than atmospheric pressure. But perhaps their most astonishing feat is their ability to survive in the vacuum of space. Our planet's magnetic field acts as a shield against harmful solar radiation. Tardigrades, however, require no such protection. They can venture into near-Earth orbit and return unscathed, thanks to a specialized protein that safeguards their DNA from ionizing radiation. Like other remarkably resilient organisms, water bears can enter a state of cryptobiosis. When faced with freezing, dehydration, or oxygen deprivation, tardigrades retract their head and legs, transforming into a dormant tun state. They remain in this suspended animation until conditions once again become favorable, ready to re-emerge. But what about the titans of the insect world? Let's turn our attention to the ironclad beetle. Imagine the arid landscapes of the southwestern United States and Mexico, where these incredible insects make their home. Now, these aren't your average beetles. They laugh in the face of high temperatures, scoff at the absence of oxygen, and shrug off increased radiation levels. Their secret? An exoskeleton so unbelievably tough that only a drill or a hammer can pierce it. This durable armor is forged from a special substance called chitin, a material also found in the formidable shells of crabs and shrimp. But the chitin of the ironclad beetle is in a league of its own. It grants this creature the ability to withstand the crushing impact of a speeding car. Picture that, a tiny beetle surviving what would obliterate almost any other living thing. When danger looms, these beetles have a trick up their exoskeletal sleeve. They retract their antennae and powerful legs into special recesses within their shell, becoming virtually impenetrable fortresses. Predators quickly learn that biting down on an ironclad beetle is a waste of time. They simply spit the beetle out, defeated, and move on to easier prey. Once the coast is clear, the ironclad beetle extends its legs and resumes its business as if nothing happened. But the exoskeleton offers more than just protection from predators. It also acts as a shield against dehydration, a critical advantage in the scorching environments of Mexico and the southwestern U.S. Within its armored shell, the beetle can store precious moisture. It's like a walking, talking canteen, absorbing water whenever it finds it and safely transporting this life-giving liquid within its body. Now, let's shift our focus to creatures of a different sort, beings of incredible fragility, yet masters of survival in the most inhospitable places on Earth. Our destination, the southeastern corner of Romania, near the shores of the Black Sea. Here, on a desolate, windswept plain, a dark pit yawns open. This is a mine, a gateway to a subterranean world hidden beneath our feet. On the surface, the air we breathe contains roughly 20% oxygen, but down in the mine, that figure plummets to a mere 10%. The air is also thick with hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, creating a toxic cocktail that would be lethal to most life forms. Humans can't survive here for long without the aid of an oxygen tank. It's safe to say that the water and air in this place are poisoned. Almost no animal could endure such conditions. Or so we think. Astonishingly, this forbidding cave teems with life. Scientists have discovered 48 species of living organisms within its depths, and a staggering 33 of them are entirely new to science. And we're not just talking about microscopic bacteria here. Larger creatures have carved out an existence in this subterranean realm. Pale, ghostly snails glide along the cave walls. Transparent shrimp, like phantoms, drift through the water. Bizarre, unidentified leeches undulate in the depths. White centipedes, adorned with enormous antennae, scuttle across the cave floor, alongside creepy pale spiders. And all of these creatures have been evolving in isolation for nearly 5 million years. Keep your eyes peeled, and you might spot a water scorpion, unlike any you've ever seen. It bears little resemblance to its relatives that inhabit sun-baked sands or lush tropical forests. In fact, nothing down here looks ordinary. Every animal is either white or transparent, devoid of pigmentation. They lack eyes, rendering them blind, but they compensate with elongated limbs and sensitive antennae that act as their eyes, guiding them through the perpetual darkness. The deeper you venture into the cave, the more the oxygen thins. Yet the abundance of life only increases. The air grows heavy with methane and carbon dioxide. All the inhabitants of this cave have never witnessed the light of the sun, forever bound to the darkness. How can life possibly thrive in such a place, where plants cannot perform photosynthesis and provide oxygen? The answer lies hidden in a small lake. The surface of the water is blanketed in a strange, frothy foam. A closer look reveals that this white substance is alive, resembling a delicate, damp paper that tears with ease. This paper is composed of billions upon billions of bacteria, known as autotrophs. The cave air is saturated with carbon dioxide, and these bacteria, like plants, eagerly absorb it. But instead of relying on photosynthesis, they utilize chemosynthesis, a process that doesn't require sunlight. What these bacteria secrete is, in turn, food for other bacteria, and these secondary bacteria become sustenance for larger creatures. It's a unique food chain, a self-sustaining ecosystem unlike anything else found on our planet. Imagine yourself hiking through a dense wilderness. The only sounds are the rustling of leaves and the snapping of twigs under your boots. Squirrels dart up the trees, their bushy tails twitching. But then, something unexpected catches your eye. In the distance between the trees, you spot something odd. It resembles a concrete structure, a man-made edifice in the middle of nowhere. You realize you're deep in the woods, at least 20 meters from the edge, and there, imagine you're hiking with friends, far from civilization. No towns, no villages, just the wilderness stretching out before you. Venturing off the beaten path, your group stumbles upon something utterly bizarre. A towering staircase, easily 12 feet tall, rising incongruously from the forest floor. It leads to absolutely nothing. What is this strange structure doing here, in the middle of nowhere? Intrigued, you channel your inner Sherlock Holmes and begin to investigate. Perhaps there was once a grand house or mansion here, now lost to time, leaving only this solitary staircase as a remnant. But a closer examination reveals something even stranger. There are no ruins, no foundations, no sign that any building ever stood here. It's as if someone simply lopped off a staircase from a building and deposited it here, without any rhyme or reason. A growing unease settles over you and your friends. The longer you stare at the inexplicable structure, the more unsettling the atmosphere becomes. A creepy presence seems to emanate from the stairs, a silent warning to leave this place as quickly as possible. You can't explain the feeling, but you can't shake it either. Compelled by a morbid curiosity, you snap a few photos with your phone. Hesitantly, you take a few steps closer. The stairs themselves don't appear particularly ancient, maybe only a few decades old at most. Moss creeps from the cracks, clinging to the stone. Your friends, overcome by apprehension, have had enough. They abandon you, sprinting back to the safety of the trail, leaving you alone with the mysterious staircase. Taking a deep breath, you carefully place your foot on the first step. Wham! An adrenaline rush surges through you as you ascend. As you reach the top, a hand touches your shoulder. You whirl around, heart pounding, but see nothing. Only blackness. As strange as it sounds, discoveries of random staircases in the woods are surprisingly common. Some are made of wood, others of brick or stone. Some appear ancient, weathered by centuries, while others look as if they were built yesterday. But they all share one unsettling characteristic: they lead nowhere, and they're always found in the most mysterious of locations. One of the most famous examples is in Chesterfield, New Hampshire. There, a long medieval-looking staircase, crafted from stones and adorned with Roman arches, stands silently in the middle of the woods. It's believed to be part of Madame Antoinette Sherry's castle. She was a famous singer back in Paris. The castle was built roughly a century ago, only to be rediscovered in 1962, with nothing remaining but the staircase. Another mysterious ancient staircase, dating back a staggering 9,000 years, stands in a forest in Italy. It appears as a series of steps leading to a small platform at the top. Why would anyone go to such lengths to build a staircase to nowhere? Some experts speculate it may have been a ritual tower, but the truth remains elusive. Some of the more modern staircases found in the woods come with their own chilling urban legends. One popular story originates from the Philippines, where a forest ranger named Tor Kik allegedly encountered a series of strange stone staircases during a routine patrol for missing persons deep in the jungle. These staircases were adorned with bizarre markings. Intrigued, Tor Kik decided to climb one of the staircases to get a better view of his surroundings. As he ascended, he was confronted by a vicious, stray dog, forcing him to climb higher. He returned to his village a few hours later, but something was terribly wrong. He had been missing for 5 years. Was the staircase some kind of time-traveling portal? Another account allegedly dates back to the 1940s, around the time of the Roswell UFO mystery. A man claiming to be a scientist was dispatched to investigate a series of unusual animal-related cases. This investigation led him to a random wooden staircase in the woods that seemed to emit a strange frequency. The team camped roughly 100 feet from the staircase that night. The following morning, it had vanished, leaving only a black burn mark where it once stood. 2 days later, it reappeared out of nowhere, 160 feet from its original location. The team attempted to collect a wood sample to send to the lab for analysis. But there was a problem. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't chip off a single piece. The wood defied all attempts to break or damage it. Imagine a lost relic from a forgotten age. Deep within the heart of a Cambodian jungle, shrouded in dense foliage and whispered legends, stands an ancient staircase. For 2,000 feet, it stretches into the unknown, a testament to a civilization swallowed by time. Experts believe this mysterious staircase was erected roughly a millennium ago. Its purpose? A question that echoes through the ages. Perhaps it served as a vital artery leading to a bustling ancient city, now lost beneath a suffocating blanket of green. Maybe it was a meeting place for weary travelers and shrewd merchants, a crossroads of cultures in a forgotten era. But let's return to the present, to your story. A sense of unease creeps upon you, an unseen presence prickling the hairs on your neck. You whirl around, expecting to see a friend playing a prank. But the air is still, the jungle silent. You are utterly alone. Panic flares. Something is profoundly wrong. Driven by primal fear, you scramble down the steps, fleeing back to the safety of your companions. Gasping, you recount your terrifying experience, but your friends dismiss it as an overactive imagination. Yet the raw terror etched on your face is undeniable. The dread in your eyes is too real to be faked. Convinced by your genuine fear, the group concedes. The staircase is to be avoided. The camping trip is over. Retreat is the only option. Back home, seeking solace in the familiar, you reach for your phone. You scroll through your photo gallery, eager to prove to yourself that what you saw was real. But the photos reveal nothing. The staircase is absent, replaced by a simple clearing surrounded by trees and shadows. Your friends confirm the unsettling truth. Their photos tell the same tale. A twitch in your eye, a sudden chill. You glance over your shoulder, even within the supposed safety of your home. The same chilling presence you felt on those ancient steps now invades your sanctuary. Darkness descends. But take heart. Most of these tales are mere urban legends, spun to send shivers down your spine. The internet, a breeding ground for rumors, can transform the mundane into the monstrous. Some of these mysterious staircases might even be recent fabrications, the result of a weekend woodworking project. A few carefully staged photos, and anyone can become an internet sensation, only to dismantle the structure later, creating the illusion of a magical disappearance. However, what if you stumble upon a truly enigmatic staircase deep in the wilderness? More likely than not, it's a forgotten remnant of a demolished house or a long-abandoned cabin, reclaimed by nature, After all, it's the 21st century. There's a logical explanation for almost everything. The presence you felt? Most likely your own mind playing tricks on you. When a reality mimics the images of the internet or the scenes from a scary movie, the mind can conjure sensations and sights that aren't truly there. Some experts say it's the same phenomenon at play during hypnosis. The power of suggestion shaping perception. Perhaps that's all it was. Or was it? Let's journey to a different landscape, to the high altitudes of northern China. Here, a mountain defies the seasons, perpetually locked in winter's icy grip. It's a natural anomaly, a pocket of frozen earth where a thick layer of permafrost lies beneath the surface, chilling everything above. This climate-defying zone stretches over 26 feet on a mountain slope in Pingquan County, a region renowned for its scorching summers, where temperatures often soar to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. How does this frozen enclave endure the summer's fiery onslaught? The secret lies in the coarse, blocky layer of soil that blankets the permafrost. This natural insulation prevents the intense heat from penetrating and melting the frozen ground, allowing the mountain's icy heart to persist year-round. Now, let us travel to another land. Argentina is famed for its sun-kissed beaches and vibrant culture, but in its southern reaches lies a spectacle of a different kind, the Perito Moreno Glacier. This breathtaking blue behemoth sprawls across more than 100 square miles and is in a constant state of growth. A visitor to this natural wonder might witness a remarkable event, the formation of an ice arch that stretches from the glacier's edge to the nearby land. This majestic archway, sculpted by the relentless forces of nature, is destined for a dramatic end. Inevitably, the archway succumbs to its own weight, rupturing with a thunderous roar as tons of ice crash into the frigid waters below. This is all part of the glacier's natural cycle. It forms these spectacular arches, only to have them collapse, creating a continuous cycle of creation and destruction. Let's journey to California's Glass Beach, but be prepared. There's not a grain of sand in sight. Instead, the shore is paved with countless gemstone-like pebbles, known as sea glass. An oddity, perhaps, but these vibrant fragments have an even stranger origin. Imagine for decades, this very beach served as a colossal dumping ground. Locals unceremoniously abandoned their unwanted glass items, from household appliances to even entire automobiles, right here on the beachfront. Eventually, the state intervened, prohibiting further waste disposal. But nature, as it often does, had its own plans. Over the years, relentless waves tirelessly pounded the discarded junk, gradually transforming it into an array of brightly colored pebbles. Now, these shimmering fragments draw tourists from every corner of the globe, a testament to nature's remarkable ability to reclaim and beautify. Now, let's shift continents to South America, where Angel Falls, the world's tallest waterfall, awaits in the heart of Venezuela. Picture this: water cascading from the summit of one of Venezuela's immense tabletop mountains, plummeting an astonishing 3,200 feet into the dense jungle below. That's a staggering 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower. The drop is so immense that a significant portion of the water transforms into a fine mist even before it reaches the ground. Visitors can feel this ethereal spray on their skin from over half a mile away, a truly awe-inspiring experience. Our journey continues to the remote woodlands of Scotland, where the hidden Glen of Fiddick awaits. This place feels plucked straight from the pages of an ancient fairy tale. Towering rocks draped in vibrant green moss dominate the landscape, while the waters of the river flow with an unusual crimson hue. The water's striking red color is due to the red sandstone bedrock that lies beneath the shallow riverbed. Reaching this breathtaking natural wonder demands a challenging hike, navigating steep muddy slopes and clinging to trees for support. But the reward is immeasurable. Imagine watching the sunlight dance upon the ruby-red waters, surrounded by the towering, enchanted rocks of this magical place. Next, we're off to Western Australia, where the bubblegum pink waters of Lake Hillier defy easy explanation. With its vibrant pink hue encircled by a lush emerald green forest, it's hard to believe this place is real. While the definitive cause remains elusive, scientists hypothesize that the lake's high salt concentration fosters the growth of a salt-loving pink bacteria known as halobacteria, which is likely responsible for the lake's distinctive coloration. Our exploration now takes us to a small peninsula in South America, home to one of the most mesmerizing natural wonders on Earth, the marble caves. From the outside, they might appear as ordinary caves, but step inside, and you're transported to a world of swirling, smooth blue marble formations. Over countless millennia, the relentless action of water has eroded the marble deposits within these caves, sculpting this unique and breathtaking cave system. The deep blue color that seems integral to the marble is, in fact, a stunning reflection of the water itself, casting ethereal blue shades across the cave walls. Now, prepare to witness the otherworldly mud volcanoes of Azerbaijan. This country boasts over 300 of these geological phenomena, more than anywhere else on the planet. Since records began, over 200 eruptions have been documented. Mud volcanoes are landforms created by the eruption of mud, water, and gases. Underground pockets of gas build pressure and force their way to the surface, eventually erupting and splattering mud in every direction. These eruptions can be quite dangerous. In 2006, a mud volcano in Indonesia erupted with such force that it engulfed an entire nearby village in thick, suffocating mud. Our journey continues to Pamukkale, Turkey, a marvelous hillside adorned with tiered thermal pools. The name of this Turkish city translates to Cotton Castle, a fitting description for the stunning white landscape. The pools are formed from travertine, a type of limestone that lends the hillside its dazzling white color. Moreover, the stone possesses geothermal properties, transforming the pools into natural hot springs. There are 17 pools in total, all open to the public 7 days a week. Water temperatures range from a comfortable 95 degrees to a scalding 212 degrees. They are, in essence, nature's own version of a luxurious hot tub. Our final destination is the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, steeped in legend and geological wonder. The tale tells of a colossal Irish giant who was challenged to a battle by a Scottish giant. To facilitate their encounter, the Irish giant constructed a causeway across the sea. Upon defeating his foe, the Scottish giant fled back to his homeland, destroying the causeway behind him. All that remains are the beginnings of this legendary pathway at the water's edge. This stunning rock formation, composed of interlocking columns, is the result of an ancient volcanic eruption. The columns, predominantly hexagonal in shape, form a natural staircase leading from the Irish Sea to the base of a cliff. The tallest columns reach a height of 39 feet. The Giant's Causeway stands as Northern Ireland's most popular tourist attraction, drawing nearly 1 million visitors in 2019. Venture into the depths of the Naka mines in Mexico, and you'll uncover a breathtaking spectacle, the Cave of Crystals. Imagine a cavern filled with colossal shards of shimmering selenite, some reaching an astounding 37 feet in height. These are not mere crystals, they are among the largest natural crystal formations ever discovered on our planet. The secret to their immense size lies in the mineral-rich waters that once filled this cave, a primordial soup that nurtured their growth over eons. Access to this geological marvel is strictly limited. The Cave of Crystals remains off-limits to tourists due to the extreme heat and humidity within. Even seasoned scientists require special permits to brave its challenging environment. Now, let's journey to the Colombian province of Meta, where the Caño Cristalis, known locally as the River of Five Colors, awaits. This isn't your typical waterway. It's a vibrant tapestry of hues, a flowing rainbow. The waters shimmer with shades of yellow, green, blue, black, and most notably, a striking red. This kaleidoscope of color is most intense from summer to winter. The river's waters are naturally clear due to a lack of nutrients, allowing sunlight to penetrate and illuminate the diverse plant life clinging to the riverbed. It is these vibrant aquatic plants that paint the river in its spectacular array of colors. Our next destination is New Zealand, where we embark on a boat ride through the enchanting Waitomo Caves. Picture this. The cave walls come alive with a soft, ethereal glow, resembling a galaxy of stars against the inky blackness. But these aren't stars. They are glowworms, bioluminescent creatures that dwell within the cave walls. These unique glowworms, a species found nowhere else on Earth, illuminate the cave with their mesmerizing light. For millennia, the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia, Turkey, have stood as silent sentinels. These extraordinary rock formations, slender spires sculpted by ancient volcanic activity, rise dramatically from the landscape. The tallest of these chimneys reaches a height of 130 feet. Over centuries, humans have carved dwellings within these formations, creating unique homes. Today you can experience the magic firsthand by staying in one of the many hotels nestled inside these fairy chimneys. Our journey continues to Western Australia, where Wave Rock, a colossal granite formation, awaits. This geological wonder, standing 46 feet tall, mimics the form of a massive ocean wave frozen in time. Millions of years of relentless winds and torrential rains have sculpted the rock into its distinctive shape. The rock's surface displays a stunning blend of red and gray hues, a result of minerals washed down over countless years. The area surrounding Wave Rock has become a popular camping destination, thanks to its proximity to serene lakes and diverse wildlife. Finally, we arrive at the Zhangye National Geopark in China, a landscape so breathtaking it has been lauded as one of the most beautiful on Earth. The park is renowned for its vibrant rock formations, often called the Rainbow Mountains. These stunning geological features are composed of layers of minerals and sandstone of varying colors, compressed together over an astonishing 24 million years, creating a panorama of unparalleled beauty. Transition. The year is 1980. Winter's icy grip holds the small town of Lengby, Minnesota, in its grasp. 19-year-old Jean Hilliard is driving home after visiting a friend. Opting for a shortcut, she turns onto a treacherous, ice-covered road. In the darkness, she loses control of her rear-wheel drive car. The vehicle spins out and plunges into a ditch. Imagine the scene. Emergency lights flashing, snow falling steadily, a bitter frost clinging to everything. Joan, clad in only a light winter coat, mittens, and cowboy boots, exits the vehicle. The air temperature is far below freezing, a bone-chilling assault on her exposed skin. Certain that her friend's house is nearby, Joan sets off on foot. She climbs a steep hill, only to realize she has lost her way. Disoriented and increasingly cold, she stumbles through the darkness. After wandering for a couple more miles, she spots another friend's house in the distance. Driven by a desperate need for warmth, she presses on. But then, darkness descends. Jean collapses, losing consciousness in the frigid night. The following morning, Wally Nelson, a local rancher, awakens in high spirits. It's the holiday season, and a winter wonderland stretches outside his window. He steps out of his house and makes a horrifying discovery. The body of Jean Hilliard lies just a few feet from his forge. He rushes to her side, shaking her gently. He is met with a terrifying realization. Her body is stiff and unyielding, as cold and hard as frozen wood. Her eyes are open and unblinking, fixed in a vacant stare. Her hair is encrusted with ice. She appears lifeless. But Wally detects a faint sign of life. She is still breathing, however shallowly. Jean has somehow clung to life through the brutal night. Desperate to get her help, he tries to lift her into his car to take her to the doctor. But her frozen body refuses to bend. She is as rigid as a statue. He is forced to use a larger vehicle to transport her to the hospital as quickly as possible. The doctors at the hospital are grim. They believe her chances of survival are slim. Her hand is so hard and frozen that no needle can penetrate it. Her eyes are glazed over, reflecting the low temperature that has gripped her body. Imagine the scene. A young woman lies motionless in the snow, her body in a desperate fight for survival. Her muscles are rigid, her skin unresponsive. It's as if she's turned to stone. This is the body's emergency mode kicking in. Every ounce of energy, every drop of blood is being diverted to her vital organs, heart, lungs, brain, to keep them functioning at all costs. That's why her extremities feel so cold, so lifeless. Doctors work quickly, placing heating pads on her, desperately trying to restore warmth. Her family can only watch, their hearts filled with hope and dread, praying for a miracle. Frostbite is a relentless enemy. When water freezes, it expands. Think of a bottle filled to the brim and placed in the freezer. Hours later, the bottle is cracked, distorted, a testament to the power of ice. The same destructive process occurs within our bodies, which are nearly 70% water. As ice crystals form, they tear and shred cell membranes. These microscopic shards become weapons, destroying tissue from the inside. This is frostbite in its most brutal form. In extreme cold, the body makes a chilling calculation. Slow down everything to conserve precious energy. The heart beats slower, the lungs barely sip oxygen, and metabolism grinds to a near halt. Jean's body, in its desperate wisdom, seems to have initiated this survival protocol, and it may have saved her life. She lay exposed in the freezing snow for 6 long hours. But a crucial question arises. Why didn't the ice crystals obliterate her cells? How did her body endure such a brutal assault and emerge victorious? Back at the hospital, a sense of relief washes over the medical team as Jean shows signs of recovery. Warm blood begins to circulate, thawing her frozen veins and bringing her back from the brink. Incredibly, there appears to be minimal damage to her muscles and skin. Hours later, she regains consciousness. By noon, she's speaking, though her mind is clouded. She remembers walking to a friend's house, then nothing but waking up in the sterile hospital room. Her first thought, a wave of panic. Her father's car must be somewhere in a ditch. The truth is even more extraordinary. The girl had fallen, then crawled on her hands and knees, driven by a primal urge towards Wally Nelson's house. She doesn't recall this desperate journey. Her brain, in its fight for survival, had activated an instinct she didn't know she possessed, but she didn't quite make it. Jean collapsed just steps from the door, where she remained for 6 agonizing hours. Doctors are astounded when they examine her. Apart from the effects of the cold, she appears to be completely healthy. Soon she's discharged from the hospital. Her case, while remarkable, isn't entirely unique. Dr. David Plummer, a seasoned professor of emergency medicine, recalls witnessing about a dozen similar instances over his career, patients who defied the odds and survived extreme frostbite. Joan returns home to find herself a local celebrity. Newspapers clamor for her story, interview requests flood in, and documentary filmmakers want to capture her miraculous recovery. Her case captivates the medical world, but the central mystery remains unsolved. How did she survive? In humans, such recoveries seem like divine intervention, but nature is full of creatures with astonishing adaptations to extreme environments. Take the tree frog, Hylidae, found in temperate and tropical regions of Eurasia. When faced with freezing temperatures, these amphibians inject large amounts of glucose into their bloodstream. This sugary syrup permeates their cells, lowering the freezing point of water. The water outside the cells may freeze solid. The frog's body becomes as hard as an ice cube. Yet, it remains alive, suspended in a state of frozen animation. When warmth returns, the frog thaws. Its blood flows freely, and its muscles spring back to life. Even more astonishing is the ghoulish icefish, Chenectidi. This transparent, jellyfish-like creature dwells in the frigid depths of the Antarctic Ocean. It thrives in these icy waters, thanks to a unique antifreeze protein in its blood. This natural cryoprotectant prevents ice crystals from forming, protecting its cells and organs from freezing. Stranger still, the ice fish lacks red blood cells, making it the only vertebrate known to science with this bizarre adaptation. Oxygen is simply dissolved in its plasma. Our planet holds more secrets, organisms that use the cold itself to extend their lifespan. In the Siberian permafrost, scientists have unearthed microscopic, multi-celled creatures, tiny worms, frozen in time, brought back to life after millennia. The very ice that threatens life can also preserve it, a paradox at the heart of nature's endless ingenuity. Imagine creatures so resilient, they defy the very laws of nature. Certain nematode worms possess this incredible ability. We know of organisms that can survive in freezing temperatures for a decade, but the worms discovered in Siberia were on another level altogether. These tiny beings had been locked in the icy grip of the permafrost for approximately 24,000 years. Picture this: scientists carefully excavating these ancient worms, transporting them to a warm laboratory. As they slowly thawed, a miracle unfolded. The worms stirred, twitched, and then, unbelievably, came back to life. After millennia of suspended animation, they began to reproduce as if no time had passed. How is this possible? Their bodies possess the ability to enter cryptobiosis. This remarkable state allows a frozen organism to reduce its vital functions to an absolute minimum. Analysis revealed these worms could remain in this suspended state for literally tens of thousands of years. And they're not alone. Many other creatures on our planet possess similar abilities. Furthermore, these particular worms exhibit an extraordinary resistance to radiation, making them practically invulnerable. Now, shifting gears slightly, it's conceivable that Jean Hilliard's body entered a brief period of cryptobiosis when she was found frozen. Perhaps the presence of some non-freezing component in her blood played a role. But the truth is, no one can say for sure. Today, Jean lives a normal life, scarcely recalling that extraordinary day. Further exploration into this phenomenon could revolutionize medicine. Imagine a future where specialized drugs enable us to withstand extreme cold. Picture yourself venturing out into the dead of winter in just a t-shirt and shorts. Steam would rise from your body, and the ice beneath your feet would melt from your internal heat. It sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Of course, winter coat manufacturers might have something to say about it. Now, let's set sail into another mystery of the sea. Matt Rutherford, an experienced sailor and the first person to circumnavigate North and South America, solo and non-stop, has witnessed many strange sights during his voyages. But a particular encounter in 2013, while navigating the Atlantic with a colleague, remains etched in his memory. About 800 miles off the coast of Bermuda, within the notorious Bermuda Triangle, they spotted a vessel adrift. It appeared to be moving without any visible means of propulsion. The sails were furled, and the engine was silent. Intrigued and concerned, the sailors decided to investigate, hoping to offer assistance. As they approached the mysterious ship, the situation grew even more perplexing. They soon realized there wasn't a soul on board. Rutherford, sensing the unusual nature of the situation, began filming to document their discovery. The ship had an eerie, abandoned feel, prompting them to anticipate encountering something unsettling. Undeterred, Rutherford cautiously began to search the vessel. The boat, identified as the Wolfhound, appeared to be a luxurious yacht, likely worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was bizarre to find such a vessel drifting aimlessly in the vastness of the ocean. It seemed as though whoever had abandoned the Wolfhound had done so in haste. Clothes and personal items were scattered throughout the main cabin. Sections of the ceiling had collapsed, and drawers were flung open. The intrepid sailors made the decision to tow the ghost ship back to Bermuda. This proved to be a challenging task, as the Wolfhound was considerably larger and heavier than their own boat. After several days at sea, their fuel reserves dwindled. They requested assistance from a passing freighter, which provided them with additional fuel. They continued towing the Wolfhound until the tow line became entangled in the rudder. Faced with the risk of becoming stranded within the Bermuda Triangle, they were forced to abandon the ship. The fate of the Wolfhound and the circumstances surrounding its abandonment remain shrouded in mystery. Rumor has it that the yacht belonged to a member of the Royal Irish Yacht Club. The ship was embarking on its maiden voyage from Connecticut to Bermuda and then onward to Antigua. However, it encountered a violent storm approximately 400 miles from Delaware. The ferocious winds caused the yacht to suffer 2 knockdowns. A Greek cargo ship rescued the crew, who reported witnessing the ship sink. This detail only deepens the enigma. How did it resurface? Does the Bermuda Triangle hold the answer? Even Christopher Columbus documented unusual compass behavior in this enigmatic region during his voyage to the New World. Despite the countless stories of ships and planes vanishing within the Bermuda Triangle, tales involving over 50 ships and 20 aircraft, it remains a heavily trafficked shipping lane. Some skeptics propose that this very fact explains the mystery. The higher the traffic, the greater the likelihood of accidents. However, it's not merely the quantity of disappearances that makes the Bermuda Triangle so captivating. It's the inexplicable nature of those disappearances. The ocean's depths hold countless secrets, and some are lost forever. Consider the case of the USS Pickering, the first ship confirmed to vanish within the infamous Bermuda Triangle. In 1800, this vessel set sail from the United States, bound for the West Indies, with a crew of 90 souls. Imagine the scene, sails billowing, the ship cutting through the waves, full of hope and purpose. Then, it entered the triangle, and silence fell. Not a single message, no wreckage, nothing. The most plausible explanation points to a devastating storm, but without any tangible remains, the truth remains elusive, swallowed by the sea. Even larger was the disappearance of the USS Cyclops, a massive vessel that vanished in March 1918. This behemoth, carrying 306 individuals, departed Barbados, setting course for Baltimore. Its route took it directly through the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, and then, oblivion. The Cyclops sent no distress signals, leaving behind no clues, no debris, simply vanishing from the face of the earth. What could swallow such a large ship and so many people without a trace? The mystery endures. Yet the Bermuda Triangle isn't the only watery graveyard. The tale of the SS Bechimo stands as one of the most baffling ghost ship stories ever recorded. Picture this. A large cargo, steamer, built in Sweden, finding itself trapped in pack ice on October 1st, 1931. After initial struggles, the crew freed the ship, only to be ensnared again within the week. This time, escape proved impossible. A daring aerial rescue extracted 22 crew members, but 15 remained, seeking shelter in a wooden structure near the ship. Their plan, to wait out the winter and reclaim their vessel. Then, in late November, a ferocious blizzard swept across the landscape. When the skies cleared, the Bechimo was gone. The captain assumed the ship had broken up and sunk. But days later, a local hunter reported sighting the Bechimo, some 45 miles from their camp. The crew located the vessel and salvaged valuable cargo, fearing the ship's demise. But the Bechimo defied expectations, surviving the ordeal. As the ice thawed, it drifted away, becoming a spectral wanderer along the coasts of Canada and Alaska. Numerous sightings followed, with daring individuals even attempting to board the ghostly vessel. The last confirmed sighting occurred in 1969, a full 38 years after its abandonment. Could the Bechimo still be adrift, a silent testament to the power of the sea? Then there's the enigma of the MV Joyita, a wooden luxury yacht turned merchant vessel that met a bizarre fate in the South Pacific. In 1959, it embarked on a trading voyage expected to last a mere 2 days. When it failed to arrive, initial concern was muted, attributed to the unpredictable nature of the open ocean. But as another day passed without any distress signals, alarm bells rang. 25 souls were aboard, and their families desperately sought answers. A massive search and rescue operation covering nearly 100,000 square miles, an area 1.5 times the size of Florida, yielded nothing. The Joyita had seemingly vanished, but a month later, another merchant ship spotted the Joyita, adrift far from its intended course. The ship was deserted. No crew, no passengers, no cargo. The lifeboats were missing, suggesting a desperate attempt to escape. It was discovered that the crew had attempted to transmit a distress signal, but a damaged cable limited its range to a mere 2 miles. The ship's logbook was also missing, taken with them as they abandoned ship. What transpired aboard the Joyita remains shrouded in mystery. Theories abound, from corroded pipes causing flooding to more sinister explanations. The families of those lost continue to seek closure, but the sea holds its secrets tight. Finally, imagine the foreboding known as the Devil's Sea, a region in the Pacific Ocean near Japan. Some believe it to be one of the planet's 12 vile vortices, areas where strange phenomena occur due to unusual magnetic forces. Imagine a place where the very fabric of electromagnetism seems to pulse with unusual intensity. It is said that in this zone, electromagnetic waves possess a strength unmatched anywhere else on Earth. one chilling tale stands out: the disappearance of a fisheries patrol vessel in 1952. This ship ventured into the area to investigate previous vanishings, only to share the same fate, vanishing along with its 31 crew members. While some whisper of supernatural forces, scientists propose a more grounded explanation: a violent underwater volcanic eruption. Now, let's journey back hundreds of millions of years. Prepare to have your perception of ancient forests utterly transformed. Scientists have unearthed a 385-million-year-old root network, a fossilized web that has them rethinking the very nature of Earth's first forests. Picture this: a seemingly ordinary highway department quarry near Cairo, New York. But beneath the surface lies the remnants of a primeval forest, a realm inhabited by the world's earliest tree-like plants. And these weren't your typical trees. Imagine giant stalks of celery reaching for the sky, or perhaps something resembling a pine tree, yet adorned with hairy fern-like fronds. Another species looked like a bizarre palm tree, complete with a bulbous base and fern-like branches. It's as if evolution was still experimenting, unsure what form these plants should ultimately take. These ancient plants, surprisingly large and mature, weren't huddled together in a dense thicket. Instead, they stood scattered across a vast floodplain, one that experienced the ebb and flow of the seasons. Despite regular dry spells, these tree-like plants thrived in these semi-arid conditions. Their root systems had somehow adapted to endure short-term flooding, a puzzling feat considering their supposed intolerance to such conditions. But the strangeness doesn't end there. Other plants in the area possessed even greater resilience to water scarcity. Picture extinct pine tree-like species, boasting deep root systems that spread an impressive 36 feet wide and plunged 23 feet deep. These were the advanced pioneers, flaunting true leaves capable of efficient photosynthesis. This discovery begs the question: why did the fern-like trees dominate prehistoric deltas, while their pine-like cousins reigned supreme on the floodplains? It's as if they defied the conventional wisdom of setting up shop near rivers, seemingly unconcerned with maximizing the dispersal of their genes. Perhaps they were the rebels of the plant world, marching to the beat of their own evolutionary drum. This remarkable find has ignited excitement among evolutionary ecologists. It suggests that the earliest trees were far more adaptable than previously believed, capable of colonizing a wide array of environments, not just perpetually wet ones. Who knew trees were such versatile colonizers? Now, let's shift gears to a more modern concern. Imagine you're driving to work and you see a stranded hitchhiker. Do you stop? You might want to think twice, because there is a hitchhiker road scam. This trick preys on the good nature of unsuspecting drivers. It often begins with someone posing as a hitchhiker, desperately flagging down a car on the side of the road. They might weave a tale of being stranded, needing a ride to the nearest town or city. Sometimes, the hitchhiker might request to be dropped off at a specific location, like a gas station or convenience store, only to vanish with the driver's money or valuables. In a more sinister variation, a group of individuals will flag down a car, all clamoring for a ride. Once the vehicle is in motion, they'll resort to threats, robbing the driver of money, valuables, or even the entire car. It's crucial to be aware of this scam and exercise extreme caution when encountering hitchhikers. The best course of action is to avoid offering rides or any form of assistance, and to never pull over in an unfamiliar or unsafe location. But hitchhikers aren't the only potential source of trouble on the road. Imagine returning to your parked car, only to find a slice of cheese strategically placed on it. Sounds like a prank, right? It could be a sign of something far more sinister. One woman shared her unsettling experience online. Initially dismissing it as a childish prank, she decided to enlist a friend's help in cleaning up the cheesy mess. But as they began wiping away the melted cheese from her windshield, they noticed something amiss. A white van, occupied by several men, had arrived and its occupants were suspiciously staring at them. Fortunate she was not alone, she decided it was safe enough to finish cleaning. Imagine this. You return to your car, only to find a slab of cheese plastered across the windshield. It's melted, gooey, and seems impossible to remove. An hour later, after painstaking labor, You finally scraped away the last of the cheese. But a nagging thought lingers. Was this some kind of bizarre trap? It's a valid question. Perhaps the cheese was deliberately placed there to distract you. While you're preoccupied with cleaning the mess, a thief could easily snatch bags, wallets, or even recent purchases from your car. Or worse, could this be a sinister kidnapping plot? The sticky cheese keeps your focus glued to the task at hand, blinding you to suspicious figures approaching. So, what's the takeaway? If you ever encounter cheese on your car, consider leaving it be, provided it doesn't obstruct your view or impede your driving. Your safest bet is to clean it at home or visit a car wash. Professionals have the tools and expertise to remove the cheese without damaging your car's paint. While a cheesy car might seem like a random prank, other scams are far more calculated. Consider this. You spot a t-shirt or hoodie draped over your windshield, or perhaps tucked under your wiper blades. Resist the urge to immediately remove it. This could be a deliberate ploy to steal your car. As you step out to clear the obstruction, a thief could jump in and drive off. Instead, if possible, drive away as quickly as you can to a safe, well-lit location with plenty of people around. Only then should you remove the object. Some drivers have even found money placed under their wipers, likely a similar distraction tactic. There are ways to reduce the likelihood of becoming a victim. When parking, always turn your tires towards the curb. This makes it more difficult for thieves to quickly tow or drive away with your car. The added effort and time required may deter them from targeting your vehicle. Sadly, road scams are all too common. One of the most prevalent is the infamous tow truck scam. This involves scattering oil, metal shards, nails, or broken glass on the road, creating a trap for unsuspecting drivers. When a car inevitably suffers damage, the scammers materialize, offering towing services at exorbitant rates. They often position these traps in areas with poor visibility or far from gas stations, leaving drivers stranded and vulnerable. If you find yourself in such a predicament and are forced to accept their towing service, be warned. They may take your car to a repair shop not approved by your insurance company. This can lead to inflated repair costs and further financial exploitation. Experienced drivers know the rule. The driver who rear-ends another vehicle is typically at fault, as they are expected to maintain a safe following distance. Some scammers exploit this by repeatedly slamming on their brakes, hoping you'll collide with them. They then demand money for alleged damages and even fabricated medical expenses. To avoid this trap, maintain a safe distance from other vehicles, especially those exhibiting suspicious or erratic driving behavior. If a scammer persists in harassing you, drive to the nearest police station and report the incident. Picture this. You're driving down the road when a motorcyclist signals you, urgently pointing at your wheels and indicating smoke. Alarmed, you pull over to the side. The motorcyclist offers to help, suggesting they call a mechanic to inspect your wheels. Surprisingly, a mechanic arrives with remarkable speed, but while seemingly examining the brakes, subtly disables your braking system. He then asks you to test the brakes, which of course fail. Now, on the road, you might encounter individuals who offer assistance with your vehicle, perhaps suggesting they can fix your brakes. Be warned, they could impose exorbitant fees for their services. The moral of the story? Always rely on your trusted mechanic or a reputable towing company. You never truly know who you might encounter while traveling. Some of these roadside tales aren't even scams, they're simply modern folklore. Consider the legend of the Wrong Way Man. One version describes a driver trapped on one-way streets, moving against traffic, creating pandemonium as other motorists swerve to avoid him. This man is depicted as crazed, a menace behind the wheel with wild eyes and a penchant for dangerous maneuvers. Other versions claim you might simply see this mysterious figure on the side of the road. If you do, the stories say you must immediately turn around and avoid returning to your house for a week, lest misfortune befall you. There are countless tales of near misses and close calls with this enigmatic figure. Some even claim to have been struck by him, suffering serious injuries as a result. Despite these numerous sightings and recounted experiences, there's no solid evidence to confirm the Wrong Way Man's existence. Many experts believe the legend serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder to stay vigilant and drive safely. Yet the story endures, passed down through generations, solidifying its place as one of the most persistent urban legends of our time. Now, let's journey to a completely different world, to the icy continent of Antarctica. Even here, in the planet's most frigid realm, nature continues to surprise us. Behold, blood falls, a waterfall of reddish water cascading down the stark white ice. Scientists have determined that the color originates from iron. Water emerging from the glacier undergoes oxidation, essentially rusting upon exposure to oxygen, resulting in the striking red hue. Next, we travel to Mount Gondi, a place famous for its dinosaur eggs. While not actual fossilized eggs, the stones found here bear a remarkable resemblance to them. These stone eggs formed in a specific area of the mountain over 500 million years ago. Intriguingly, this phenomenon repeats roughly every 30 years. New eggs emerge in various sizes and shades. These stones appear on the surface of the cliff. Studies have revealed that the composition of these stones differs from other parts of the mountain. Here, calcareous rocks dominate, making the area more susceptible to erosion. Over 3 decades, these rocks slowly erode into egg-like shapes. The mystery lies in how these rock formations achieve such perfect spherical forms and smooth surfaces. Scientists have discovered that each stone egg contains an organic core composed of shells, plant remnants, fish teeth, and skeletons. Perhaps this organic material plays a role in their formation. Nearby Gulu village holds these stone eggs sacred. Locals believe they bring good fortune, and many families keep one in their homes. Sadly, only about 70 of these eggs remain, so a visit to see them should be planned soon. Our journey takes us next to the Rishat structure in the Sahara Desert, near Mauritania. This geological marvel consists of concentric rings of rock resembling a massive bullseye. Its unique appearance has captured the attention of NASA. From above, the structure appears to swirl and spin. Scientists still debate its origin. Some propose an asteroid impact, while others favor a natural geological process. According to this theory, the Risha structure is an uplifted and eroded dome, classified by geologists as a domed anticline. Researchers have found that the rocks at the center are older than those in the outer rings, suggesting the stones have been eroded into flat layers over vast stretches of time. Despite ongoing research, a definitive explanation remains elusive, and the 28-mile-wide mystery of the Sahara continues to puzzle scientists. Finally, consider Rapa Nui, also known as Isla de Pascua. You likely know it as Easter Island. It boasts 3 names. The island was discovered by Jacob Roggeveen, who wasn't even actively searching for it. He simply happened upon it one Sunday, hence the name Easter Island. Roggeveen's actual mission was to locate Terra. Let's journey to a place that bears a misleading name, Australis. But be warned, this isn't the Australia we know. Australis was a phantom continent, a mere hypothetical landmass conjured up on maps. Adding to the intrigue, our explorer also sought Davis Land, a speck of Earth supposedly sighted long ago by the pirate Edward Davis, not the Edward Davis of saxophone fame. Alas, our explorer's quest proved fruitless. Davis Land remained elusive, a ghost on the horizon. Nobody, save perhaps the pirate himself, ever laid eyes on it. Yet from this failed ambition arose an unexpected triumph, the discovery of Easter Island. Behold Easter Island, a Chilean territory adrift in the vast expanse of the southeastern Pacific. This island earns its place on our list for one staggering reason: the presence of nearly 1,000 colossal stone statues, the Moai. These silent sentinels were sculpted by the Rapa Nui people. Almost all of these monolithic figures represent gigantic heads, though a few depict kneeling figures, hands resting reverently over their bellies. Each statue is believed to represent revered chiefs or other distinguished members of Easter Island society. To carve these immense forms, the Rapa Nui ingeniously employed volcanic stones, softened by some unknown technique. Now prepare yourself for a journey to a place dramatically nicknamed the Gateway to the Underworld. Fear not, It's merely the local moniker for the Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan. For 5 decades, this colossal sinkhole has blazed with unrelenting fire. This isn't some ancient geological phenomenon, however. The crater is the result of a human accident. In 1971, during a natural gas exploration project, the ground collapsed, creating this fiery abyss. Ever since, the flames have danced, transforming a mishap into a bizarre tourist attraction. The country's president now seeks a way to extinguish this perpetual inferno. Our world continues to conjure mysteries, even in modern times. We need not always gaze back millions of years to be baffled by unexplained constructions. Consider Edward Leeds Calnan, who single-handedly erected the Coral Castle in Homestead, Florida. Eschewing heavy machinery, he meticulously carved and sculpted over 1,100 tons of coral rock over 28 years, until his death in 1951. The methods he used remain shrouded in mystery. Leeds Calnan transformed sedimentary rock into an array of objects: walls, maps, tables, chairs, a fountain, and even a sundial. Legend attributes his monumental effort to a broken heart. Jilted by his fiancée on their wedding day, he sought to prove his devotion through an extraordinary act of creation. He certainly succeeded. Prepare to be perplexed by the Namibian fairy circles. Across hundreds of miles, millions of these circular patches dot the landscape, ranging from 10 to 65 feet in diameter. Their enigmatic appearance has earned them the name fairy circles, as if some otherworldly being etched them into the earth. These are essentially barren, oval-shaped clearings, each ringed by a vibrant growth of grass. Local folklore abounds with explanations for their origin, but science offers its own theories. For decades, biologists and mathematicians have grappled with the mystery of these formations. One prevailing theory centers on the scarcity of water in the desert environment. Plants compete fiercely for this precious resource. Some plants manage to expand and thrive within a specific patch, effectively denying water to smaller plants in the immediate vicinity. Ultimately, this leads to the death of the struggling vegetation, leaving only the robust plants at the edges of the patch. This creates the strikingly regular, evenly spaced gaps that define the fairy circles. Now, imagine a hill in India where the laws of physics seem to bend. In Ladakh, instead of rolling downwards, objects appear to roll uphill. This is no supernatural phenomenon, but rather a clever optical illusion. The surrounding landscape distorts our perception, making a downhill slope appear as an incline. In reality, the road descends. These intriguing locations are known as magnetic hills or gravity hills. Scientific explanations vary, but one popular theory suggests that the hill possesses an unusually strong magnetic force capable of drawing cars towards it. Finally, let's witness flaming rocks. The Yanartash. Spreading across an area of over 3 square miles, this site is nestled on a rocky mountainside in southwestern Turkey, near the town of Çuralı. Yanartaş, meaning flaming stone, derives its name from its fiery spectacle. For at least 2,500 years, flames have flickered and danced across these rocks, and they are likely to continue burning for decades to come. The mountain itself is an inactive volcano, riddled with tiny fissures that release gases like methane. This gas ignites upon contact with the air, fueling the eternal flames of Yanartaş. Imagine a place where the earth itself seems to breathe fire. In Azerbaijan, there's Yanar Dağ, a mountainside ablaze not with lava, but with natural gas. This isn't a recent phenomenon. This eternal flame has been burning for centuries, fueled by subterranean reserves. The escaping gas reacts with oxygen in the air, creating a mesmerizing, flickering spectacle. Back in the day, sailors navigating the Caspian Sea used Yanar Dağ's flames as a natural lighthouse, a beacon in the night. Today, it's more of a tourist attraction, drawing hikers and curious travelers to witness this geological wonder. Now, let's journey to the heart of the Canadian Rockies, to the frozen expanse of Abraham Lake. Here, in winter, an otherworldly scene unfolds. The frigid water transforms into a crystalline canvas, trapping bubbles of methane gas beneath the surface. These icy orbs create a breathtaking, almost magical landscape. But be warned, this beauty is deceptive. These white spheres aren't just frozen water, they contain flammable methane gas. A seemingly serene vista hides a potentially volatile secret. Our next stop is Racetrack Playa in Death Valley, USA, a parched lakebed shrouded in mystery. Here, scattered across the cracked earth, are rocks of various sizes, each leaving a telltale trail etched in the dry clay. These aren't pebbles. Some are substantial stones, seemingly pushed or dragged across the desolate landscape by an unseen force. For years, the moving rocks of Racetrack Playa baffled scientists and intrigued adventurers. The answer, it turns out, lies in a confluence of wind and ice. During brief periods when the playa is covered with a thin layer of ice, strong winds can push these rocks across the slippery surface, leaving behind their enigmatic trails. Picture this. You're at Honolulu International Airport, a little early for your flight. You decide to relax in the waiting area when suddenly you notice a woman. An anxious blonde in a white dress stands near one of the gates, gazing out at the runway, seemingly waiting for someone. You reach for a comforting piece of chocolate, intending to offer it to her, but in the blink of an eye, she vanishes into thin air. Congratulations, you've just encountered the Lady in Waiting, one of the airport's resident phantoms. Like any good ghost story, hers comes with a tragic backstory. It is said that she was deeply in love with a man. He promised her marriage, but then he flew abroad and never returned. His betrayal shattered her heart, leading her to take her own life. But her spirit, it seems, remains tethered to the airport, forever waiting for her lost love to return, like the faithful Japanese dog Hachiko, who waited for his master. Over the years, local police have received countless reports of a ghostly woman wandering through the airport gates and restricted areas. This spectral figure also seems to favor public bathrooms, much like Moaning Myrtle from the Harry Potter series. Airport employees have reported strange occurrences, paper towel dispensers activating on their own, toilet seats slamming shut, and toilets flushing inexplicably in empty bathrooms late at night. While some might attribute these events to automatic sensors, the legend persists. Of course, this urban legend doesn't offer any solution for releasing the heartbroken phantom from her eternal vigil. But her story serves as a chilling reminder to think carefully before making promises. Speaking of spooky ladies in white, the Kempegowda International Airport in Bangalore, India, has its own spectral resident. A pilot once reported seeing a strange woman in a white sari on the runway. He alerted airport staff, but by the time they arrived, she had vanished. Since then, numerous witnesses have reported seeing the same phantom in various parts of the airport, in the cargo department, on escalators, and even in the parking lot. According to local media, her identity and the reason for her haunting remain unknown. Perhaps she's simply trying to locate lost luggage. Let's take a flight to Southeast Asia. Today, Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok is one of the busiest aviation hubs in the world. But beneath the hustle and bustle of modern air travel lies a darker reputation. It is also considered one of the most haunted places in Thailand. While many haunted locations are old and decaying, Suvarnabhumi is relatively new, having opened in 2006. However, the land it occupies has a long and troubled history. The airport was built on the site of an ancient burial ground. Construction crews had to drain a marsh known as Cobra Swamp to prepare the land. From the very beginning, mysterious events plagued the project. Unexplained wailing, eerie screams, and even classical music emanated from nowhere. Some construction workers, terrified by these supernatural occurrences, refused to continue working. Local residents believed that the construction had disturbed spirits sleeping beneath the new airport. In an attempt to appease these angered entities, 99 Thai monks were invited to perform a lengthy ritual. For 9 weeks, they chanted, attempting to cleanse the area of bad vibes. The ceremony was nearing completion when a man suddenly interrupted the monks, claiming to be possessed by one of the disturbed spirits. In Thailand, folklore intertwines with the mundane, even at the bustling Bangkok airport. Imagine this. A local man delivers a cryptic message, seemingly from beyond the veil. His demand? The construction of a proper spirit house. The reason? To ensure the airport's smooth operation. The man then promptly fainted. Upon regaining consciousness and feeling perfectly normal, the airport authorities, perhaps with a mix of skepticism and respect, decided to honor this unusual request. These spirit houses are deeply rooted in Thai tradition. Landowners erect these miniature ornate shrines as a gesture of goodwill, hoping to forge a harmonious relationship with the unseen entities believed to inhabit their land. So, should your travels ever lead you through Bangkok Airport, take a moment to appreciate this cultural artifact. And while you're there, don't miss the mesmerizing sculptures depicting the ancient Hindu myth, a dramatic saga of light and dark deities collaborating to obtain Amida, the nectar of immortality. But Thailand isn't the only place where spectral concerns seem to influence aviation. Let's journey to the United States, to Denver International Airport. This airport has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted in the world. Situated on a remote plot of land, once considered sacred by its previous inhabitants, the airport has been plagued by strange occurrences since its very inception. According to various media reports, construction was marred by multiple problems and inexplicable incidents. Today, Denver International Airport attracts a legion of mystery hunters, and the urban legends surrounding it continue to multiply. Some delve into the hidden meanings embedded within the airport's murals and gargoyles, seeking to decipher cryptic messages. Others are convinced that the colossal cobalt blue horse statue that stands guard at the entrance is cursed. This sculpture, grimly nicknamed Blucifer, tragically claimed the life of its creator, Luis Jimenez, in 2006, when a piece broke loose and struck him during the final stages of its creation. The sheer scale of the airport, coupled with its isolated location, has fueled speculation about a secret underground bunker, larger than some real cities like San Francisco, hidden beneath its runways. While airport spokespersons have dismissed these claims, emphasizing the need for such a vast facility to accommodate over 50 million travelers annually, the rumors persist. Our next stop might conjure images from the chilling tales of Stephen King. While his thriller unfolded at an airport in Bangor, Maine, we turn our attention to the historic Chandler Airport in Fresno, California. This place has accumulated a collection of eerie stories, including accounts of people passing directly through the walls of the old terminal. Some passengers have reported hearing disembodied voices echoing through the airport restaurant. Kitchen staff once recounted a chilling experience. While cleaning up, they heard a strange noise, investigated, and witnessed a plate inexplicably sliding across the counter before crashing to the floor. Perhaps an invisible patron was simply dissatisfied with the prices. Like Honolulu Airport, Chandler has its own resident phantom, an elderly man often seen in the control tower. Fortunately, this spectral figure seems harmless, content to gaze out at the airfield, as if observing phantom aircraft taking off and landing. The urban legend surrounding Savannah Hilton Head International Airport is both spooky and strangely romantic. It is said that those who land just after sunset might glimpse two apparitions along the north side of the runway. These are believed to be the ghosts of Richard and Catherine Dotson, who once lived on the land that now lies beneath the airport. They seem to pose no threat to passengers or staff, but appear to simply welcome those arriving. Finally, no list of haunted airports would be complete without mentioning Manchester Airport in the UK. This bustling hub, serving approximately 28 million passengers each year, is also home to several spectral figures. Passengers and staff have reported sightings of creepy figures and strange phenomena, such as doors slamming shut on their own. Airport archives from the 1970s reveal that some staff members refused to work alone in Terminal 3 after dark due to overwhelming fear. One night, a local worker saw a figure wearing a pilot's hat enter a restroom. No flights were scheduled to arrive or depart at that hour, so the worker decided to follow the mysterious gentleman. But the bathroom was empty, and the motion sensor lights showed no sign of any presence. Imagine finding yourself alone in the echoing halls of an airport late at night. For some, this eerie setting becomes even more unsettling. There are whispers, you see, tales of encounters with a spectral pilot. Witnesses claim to have come face to face with this phantom airman, forever trapped in an old-fashioned uniform. He's often seen aimlessly wandering the corridors of Terminal 3, a lost soul seemingly disoriented in the vast space. But who was he? What tragedy keeps him tethered to this place? Unfortunately, the true story of this ghostly aviator remains shrouded in mystery. But the pilot isn't the only spectral resident said to haunt these terminals. There's another figure lurking in the shadows, the night watchman. This is said to be the phantom of a security guard from the 1960s, forever patrolling the airport he once protected in life. One former airport employee had an experience that forever changed his life. He recounts meeting this gentleman during a late-night shift, attempting to strike up a conversation. But as he spoke, the figure simply vanished into thin air, leaving the poor employee in utter shock and disbelief. The encounter was so terrifying, so profoundly unsettling, that he decided to leave his job for good. And honestly, who could blame him? Some things are best left unseen. Some mysteries are best left unsolved. The airport at night holds secrets, and some of them might just be walking among us.